Hello and welcome to the Gay and Straight Pod, sort of season two. I'm Jonathan,
I'm Paul.
and together we are chewing the fat about gay and straight issues or the gay and straight perspective on life in general. So, we did a trial episodes for about 30 where we chewed the cud, and now we are onto season two, which will probably a little bit more polished, a little bit more. We're older, wiser, and more tired.
Yeah. I was listening to the wiser part and I thought, no, but I
Yeah.
agree with the tired.
Well, we're more experienced. We're like sort of Gandalf of
Yeah.
yeah. So if your beard's grown a little bit, mine's gone whiter. We have been sent through a variety of ethical questions from a delightful listener. So where they're going through grey area ethical dilemmas.
Mm,
So are we sitting comfortably?
I am.
So, is cheating always a deal breaker?
Is cheating always a deal breaker? For me, yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, very much so.
Okay, next. No.
Next. Well, I think that's basically it. I mean, some people like these open relationship, or they have what's called a hall pass, where
oh, where they get like one free.
we'll say you get one free shag. I mean, Rob and I sort of we're married 15 years next month. And we always had this jokey thing where like a celebrity crush.
Right, yeah.
And mine's Hugh Grant. So obviously, if Hugh Grant actually sort of ends up on my lap gyrating around, then that's an all okay thing. I think it's highly unlikely that would ever happen. And I don't know what Rob's one is because he was just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't
that
really
was going
know."
to be my next question. Like, who's Rob's?
Yeah, I don't know. Because it's like 'cause it was just one of those drunken conversations you have. It's sort of like celebrity crush sort of thing.
Right.
I think his celebrity crush was the actor that played Robin of Sherwood in the 1980s. Robin of Sherwood, and then he went on to be in Dynasty.
Right. That's a bit more specific than just
So
Hugh
I
Grant.
can't quite remember it, but I mean Hugh Grant for me is just like. It's like even he seems to be even as he aged. I like Hugh Grant in like Four Weddings and a Funeral
Right.
style.
Well, could you do that though? I mean, like, even if you get
I
the
probably
hot.
would. I probably wouldn't follow through with it, but it would just be sort of a nice. I don't know. It's just that's like yeah, that would be. I think that the Hugh Grant would be. I mean, it's just one of those bonkers things. But I don't agree with cheating. I wouldn't have followed through with
But
that.
would couples do it though? Because I've heard that before, where people will say, "Right, you've got one free pass." Like I was listening to Chris Evans, and his wife loves Lenny Kravitz, and he's like, "Oh, that's hers." If she ever
Yeah.
met Lenny Kravitz, and he said, "Yep," he's like, "So that I'd have to, be all right with that." I think, would you?
No, I wouldn't. It's just I don't agree with. For me personally, that's a massive deal breaker.
Because
Uh,
you would, your partner would go off with the person that they like clearly more than you.
yeah, and
They
it's
have the time of their life or not, and then they come back to you, and
yeah,
you're like, "Oh,
sloppy seconds.
how was your night with the person you wanted to sleep with more than me?
Yeah, and it's just
Let's go and get Sunday lunch."
it sort of takes you onto like that whole open relationship. I mean, I was at a party in London many years ago, and there was this couple, and they'd been together for many years, and they'd sort of like open-esque relationship where they used to go to cruising grounds and pick up people and sort of outside in the open air sort of thing, like the whole dogging situation. Um, and and one of them was just so it was at his party, and the other one was obviously very uncomfortable with it being discussed and there was a lot of people at this party, and this guy, one of the couples had taken it up the chuff for the first time in many years with this randomer in a park,
Okay.
and he was saying, "Oh, it was amazing," and he was waxing lyrical, and I was thinking, can you not read the room as I'm smiling nicely, but I don't really know what to say. And your other half is clearly not very happy about this being discussed in this polite society. Where, and yeah, he was just it for something. It unlocked something passionate, and it was wanted to go out and do it again. And it's just like, really?
Well, is I mean, in them situations, is it cheating if they're already into it? Like, I get confused where the line gets drawn for what's classed as cheating and what
I
isn't.
don't know. I
Because
think,
you're exclusive, so
yeah,
anything is off limits that you would, the reason you're with Rob,
yeah,
you're allowed to do.
yeah.
But if you were to do any of that with anyone else,
No,
there's a whole point of
it's
exclusivity of
for
the.
me. For me, it's a massive deal breaker. And I said to Rob first off, say, look, don't agree with anything along those lines. That for me. I'm quite sort of clean cut.
Mm,
I'm not the most emotional type of a person. I get emotionally charged if things aren't. If I can't glide, that's my one word. Which if I can't glide, if it's not a gliding situation where I can just, it's a smooth. Everything is a smooth transition. Obviously, you've got sort of situations that happen in life that you have to overcome adversity and that sort of or problems, but I like to be able to glide, and if I can't glide and there's things that are stumbling me, that upsets me and that gets me infuriated.
mm,
And sort of unfaithfulness, that is a non-gliding situation, and that I would literally just switch straight off, and
yeah.
that would be it. I wouldn't do it to anybody else. And if it's done to me, then that's it. Over. End of.
All right. Well, I suppose. Well, same topic, but would you know if Rob was cheating, and would Rob know if you were cheating? Because you've been together for say
Yeah,
15-year anniversary coming
yeah.
up or whatever. You'd know,
Yeah,
like with
no, the energy the energy changes in everything. I mean, when I had my apartment in Manchester, I had a housemate. I rented a room to. I had a few friends that had keys to my flat. Because obviously it was in the centre of town, if they needed to drop anything off or anything along those lines, and it was coming up to my birthday, and I went to the flat and I realised someone had been in there. When you sense something, and so,
yeah.
my friend, someone had dropped off a pot plant for my birthday, but the moment I opened the door, I knew someone had been in the house. It's like that instinctive thing, and so when I was an estate agent going into people's houses, once I've been into one property, I know where everything is. I've got that sort of that memory recall. So it's like, when you see, like, when you have these questions where you sort of like spot the difference between these two things, I can normally clear spot there's one image and there's another image,
Mm.
and spot the difference between those two images next to something. I have that recall, but it's on a layer sort of basis. So if you go into a property or go into that situation, you can notice something's off.
Right.
And I think I'm like that with friendships and relationships, where you've got a dynamic and you've got a rhythm of something, and then you can instantly sense something's off.
So you'd be able to tell even if it was like an online cheating. It's like someone sharing intimate conversations. So they're not actually meeting up and doing things. You'd still sense an energy
Yeah,
difference.
I mean, because the thing is, so someone's doing that. I mean, because our phones, so we've both got the codes to each other's phones. We share a computer at home.
Yeah.
And yeah, but that is, for me, that is a massive deal breaker. But I think it's you can sense when there's energy that's off.
Right. So the deal breaking with cheating, you're not down for it. I certainly wouldn't be down for it. But what about those couples who do have cheating go on and then they try to make it work? Have
Mm.
you ever known anyone who's made it work?
Mm. Well, I've been the mistress when I was younger of.
Yeah, the
Uh,
mistress.
I've been the mistress, but that's because it's fulfilled a need for me.
Yeah,
And
but you were obviously that you were might have been with a married man, for example.
yeah,
But what if his missus found out, or his boyfriend or whatever found out?
um,
Like, how do people like that make it work when you've like
that's not my problem.
I know it's not your problem, but how do people carry on? Like, how did he carry on trying?
They blinkered to it. I mean, look, I mean, you could look at the royal family, for example. Um, Princess Di went into a relationship with Prince Charles, thinking that that was it, and then she twigs. You could see in the media that that there was an instant. There was a change. There was a change in dynamic, and it was picked up on by the media with the rhythm of the relationship because he was still seeing Camilla.
Right.
And then obviously the whole relationship changed because it's like then it was like revenge sort of situation. So
Yeah.
if you look at that sort of situation, and then it just spirals. I don't know. There's not necessarily no one's wrong and no one's right, because basically, say that situation, it was pretty much an arranged marriage,
Mm.
and there was expectations, but that's sort of since then everything else has splintered with the royal family, with the expectation. It's like that whole expectations. I mean, ultimately, if it works for someone, like in sort of like open relationships or affairs, where it's like a known thing. Uh, I was talking about it. Oh gosh, there's a film called Saltburn. I don't know if you've
I've
seen
not
it.
seen it, but someone told me to watch it, and I asked why, and they were like, "I can't tell you. You just need to watch it."
It's the most salacious, delicious,
Delicious. Or is
sort
it
of
a cookery show?
uh, it's a bit like the Talented Mr. Ripley, where you got someone that sort sort of befriends a family, becomes an asset of that family, or a confidant of that family, and basically sort of starts a rhythm of things for the whole family to self-destruct.
Right.
But there's a scene in it where one of the characters has died, that the body has been found that morning after a big party. I mean, spoilers. Sorry for anyone listening to it, but spoilers. And the family continue with the luncheon, Sunday luncheon. And while the coroners come in to collect the body, and the curtains are being drawn, and this big stately home that's been drawn, and they're continuing the conversations of polite conversation over Sunday lunch, because it's sort of aristocracy, and they're just keeping up the standards, even though their sons died, and they're continuing and talking about sort of cake and that sort of thing. And I went to a house party when I was about 21, 22. It was like a country party, and I was friends with the son was the youngest, and they had his older sister that brought her friend along, and they were like mid late 20s, and sort of everyone was having a jolly time. And then the wife walked in on her husband shagging the daughter's friend,
Wow.
and that erupted on the Saturday. But on the Sunday, we were all sat around this big dinner table having Sunday lunch, and the husband's there, the wife's there, and everyone's making polite conversation. And even the woman that the husband was shagging
Nah. See, this
was
is why I have a
there
problem with class. There's no class in
because
that.
because that was an expectation. So and the thing is, I just continued with everything. I didn't even question it. I just sometimes with those things you sort of, if you're in a situation, you continue with it, and that's peculiar. And now looking back at it, that is quite peculiar. But Saltburn, that scene sort of struck a chord with me. There's lots of other scenes. You have to watch it. It's on Amazon Prime and all that sort of thing.
It's definitely on my TV box.
And it is really, it's very peculiar, very weird. Um, but it's very well done, and everyone said, "Oh, that's not true to life," and I'm saying, "Well, actually, that did
Neither's
happen.
Iron Man. Who cares? You know
No,
what I mean?
but
If it's entertaining to watch, then
but say, oh, people wouldn't do that, and I said, well, actually,
hmm,
well, it's amazing how people put up with standards because it's what's been set. I mean,
yeah,
and I think potentially with these sort of monogamous relationship, that's been a standard that everyone's been sort of born to sort of accept, and then suddenly there's like open relationships, and then there's polygamy or polyamorous relationships. Um,
yeah, some
and
religions you can marry more than one person, and
well, I mean, say the Muslim, so in Turkey, there's many of the husbands have three wives.
but I think in Islam you've got to be able to be able to support them. You can't just collect them,
No,
as it sounds. So you've got to be able to financially support however many wives you have, which is. But I don't know. I mean, when it the cheating, and then you say like there's the polyamorous, there's the arrangements, there's the open relationships. If I suppose if someone's in one of those, I mean, there's no way I could be messing about like that. You know what I mean? I wear slip-on shoes for work because I can't be bothered with laces
right,
because it's just too messy. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like you then bring in other people and then they're off with other people. I'm off out with Mac tonight. Who's Mac? Oh, it don't matter.
yeah.
All right, we'll have a nice time. Yeah, I'll see you in the morning. It's like, great. Are you
Y-
going to shower before you come home? It's it's not the way I'm wired. It's not the way I'm designed. But then I suppose that's not cheating, is it? If everybody already knows that they're going to be, but then why get into a relationship?
Ultimately, if it works for that person, then fill your boots, love.
Yeah, yeah,
But for me, it doesn't. And I know people say, "Oh, well, you're just standing up to the social norms," and that's say, why not? So say it doesn't hurt and everything, variety, spice of life, and all that sort of thing. And I think, yep, jolly good. If that's for you, that's great. So I'll leave that
yeah.
with you. But not for me. And that's it. I've made a commitment to Rob. We've been married 15 years next month. Um, and quite happy with that sort of thing. And that sort of open relationships or having affair partners, that doesn't that does not appeal. We've built a nice life and a good foundation to
Mhm.
enjoy life. And I don't want to, I wouldn't want to rock the boat. I'm quite happy with the status quo.
Yeah. I just don't know how people recover. And that's only because, like, if I look at, friendship groups that I've had or still got, I've told you about a friend of mine who, he cheated on his partner with his son's school teacher. He cheated on his partner with, like, the babysitter, like, really close to home. And then she cheated on him with his own brother. And now she's actually with his brother and they have a kid, but they're all like best mates now, which is really unusual. But I watched them try to keep it going after the cheating had happened, and it was a disaster because you just always felt the tension. Like we were
Yeah,
talking about before, you can feel like the energies. You could be sat in the room and you could
yeah.
cut the atmosphere with a knife because there was barbs being thrown. And I just think why try and make it work if
Mm,
you're going to act like this afterwards? So you either forgive somebody if you're going to try and make it work, and you have to forgive them, or you've got to cut ties. But
yeah.
people have that thing in them where they can't be amicable regardless. Like if you own a house together, someone cheats, you go, right, well, I can't be with you, but we're going to have to sell this place.
Mm,
So we're going to have to be amicable with each other. Let's not talk about this. Let's just talk about the house. We'll bring it up to the standard. We'll get it sold. We part ways. We never have to talk to each other again.
yeah.
But people get so emotionally charged, and I
Mm,
think that's a bother. I
yeah.
just don't. I just personally don't think people get past it.
I think we're both on the same page. I think we've both got sort of quite suburban looks. And a lot of people think, well, yeah, I'm modern, I'm young, I'm vibrant. I wish I should be able to explore all this. And yes, jolly good, Billy
Yeah, do
Boots.
what you want. Just don't
Uh,
commit to someone
and it's like
first.
some people like are religious, and I think, yeah, jolly good. I'm really pleased for you. That's your value system. Great,
If it works for you,
if it works for you. Uh, don't force it on me. I'm not forcing. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's not right for me.
Yeah, well, it's like some people are vegetarian, some people are vegan, some people are meat eaters.
Yeah,
Let's
but
not argue. You choose your life path, and if you
uh,
say everything's wrong about what I do, well, keep it to yourself, and
so
you're not
and
going to
if you want
sway
to
me.
be evangelical about it, then lovely. But if it's not for me, don't keep wedging it down. Or it's like when you, I've got a vegan friend, and she can be a little bit challenging at times because her son got into veganism, and there's two documentaries that once you watch these documentaries, you like reprogrammed, and you will not eat any meat product
I think
or
I've seen one of them, and
yeah. And I don't want to see. I don't want to see suffering.
yeah,
And admittedly, I don't eat a lot of meat, but she becomes evangelical, and she cannot be in a room or on a table with someone eating meat.
all right,
And but she can be she can be like that typical stereotypical vegan where it becomes everything when she gets on the high horse. Well,
yeah,
she hasn't done it recently, um, but it does become a little bit tedious, and I think that sometimes threatens friendships. And I think if someone's in an open relationship, again, it probably could threaten friendships because if a couple that are together go out with a couple that are in an open relationship, there could be like threats to the relationship because it's a people may feel threatened. It's like some people will not allow a husband and wife are married. The wife will not allow the husband to go and meet with a single female friend that's been a
mm,
friend because there feels a threat that say if you meet up with this person, they might put the talons in you. But say if someone's going to wander, they're going to wander.
yeah. There's a comedian who says something similar. He said he came home at like 3 in the morning, and his girlfriend was like, "Where were you?" And he's like, "Calm down, you know. You do realize I could still cheat on you and be home by 7." You know, it's like cheating doesn't have a time. If you're
No,
gonna do it, you're gonna do it.
yeah. So
But yeah, I don't think you can get past cheating, but that's just the way I'm designed. You know,
yeah,
you're relatively similar on the same page
yeah.
on
I
that.
mean, it's yeah. So it's sort of say, sorry, dear listeners, we're sort of we don't. There doesn't seem to be much of a clash here. So we have discussed the issue, but
Yeah, you didn't make us disagree on this
we
one, I'm
don't.
afraid.
Oh yeah, we're on the same page. We're like suburban boys at heart.
Yeah, try again.
So we would like. So maybe we should have a more juicy question for the next one. So dear listeners, so we've discussed that little bit about cheating, relationship status, that sort of thing. What would you say? Please do let us know. We're on the Gay and Straight podcast. We're on all social media channels, which will be on the sort of the show notes below. It's the lovely Paul will probably put together. So we'd love to hear your opinion. So please do let us know and tune in for the next episode. This is Jonathan signing off.
And Paul signing off.
Farewell. Bye bye.